Have you ever wondered why the same people keep hurting you again and again? Why the same emotional wound appears in different faces, different relationships, different situations, almost as if your life is stuck on repeat, replaying the same disappointment no matter how much you try to avoid it, or how deeply you hope this time it will finally be different? Psychologists like Sigmund Freud, spiritual teachers like Osho and Krishnamurti, and great psychologists such as Carl Jung and Alfred Adler all pointed to this truth long before modern psychology even began to study it, and each of them revealed in their own way why we continue to experience the same pain. Welcome to our channel, The Mind. Today we will discover the real truth behind why people hurt you again and again, using their teachings aligned as deep psychological facts that can transform the way you understand relationships, emotions, and the human mind itself. Krishnamurti would begin by asking a very direct question. Do people really hurt you, or does the image you carry about them, your expectation, your attachment, your inner demand, hurt you? Osho would add that no one has ever truly hurt you. It is always your own unconscious longing for love, validation, and security that creates the wound. Freud would say you repeat emotional pain because your subconscious has unfinished conflicts, old wounds from childhood that push you toward the same kind of people and the same patterns again and again. Jung would add that the people who hurt you reflect your unhealed shadow, parts of yourself you don't want to accept, so life uses others as a mirror to show you what lies inside you. Adler would explain that people often hurt others not because of strength, but because of their inferiority complex, insecurity, or emotional immaturity. Acharya Prashant would say the reason you get hurt repeatedly is because you make someone the center of your emotional world, giving them authority over your peace. And once you hand someone that power, even their smallest actions can disturb you. Stoicism reminds us that suffering is created not by events, but by the judgment we attach to them. Nihilism quietly suggests that nothing has inherent meaning unless your mind assigns it. And this is exactly how emotional wounds become deeper than they actually are. Now think about your everyday life. When someone doesn't text you back, your mind instantly creates a story. They don't care. They are ignoring me. I'm not important. But the person might simply be busy, tired, or dealing with their own troubles. Krishnamurti would say it is the mind's habit of reading the world through fear and desire that creates suffering, not the actual action. Osho would say the ego feels hurt because you expected acknowledgement. Freud would say your old abandonment issues are being activated. Jung would say your shadow of insecurity has been triggered. Adler would say your emotional dependence makes you sensitive to small things. Acharya Prashant would say your expectations are doing the damage, not the person. Stoicism would say the event is neutral. Your interpretation creates pain. Nihilism would say the meaning is invented by you, not delivered by them. And if you observe deeply, you'll notice this is true across your relationships. Your partner comes home quiet, and you assume it's about you. Your friend becomes distant, and you immediately feel replaced. Someone forgets to appreciate your effort, and you feel invisible. These reactions come from your conditioning, not from their intention. Why do people hurt you again? Because you don't relate to them. You relate to your expectations of them. You want them to love in your style, communicate in your style, heal in your style, apologize in your style, be emotionally aware in your style. But Osho would say no two people have the same consciousness, so expecting someone to behave according to your emotional script is a guarantee for suffering. Krishnamurti would add that relationship becomes heavy when you impose psychological demands. Freud would say your attraction itself comes from old, unresolved emotional patterns. Jung would say you attract repeat situations because your psyche is trying to integrate your shadow. Adler would say both you and the other person act from private, invisible struggles. Acharya Prashant would say you are hurt because you try to extract completeness from relationships rather than becoming complete within yourself. And here lies the most important fact. People don't hurt you intentionally most of the time. They hurt you accidentally because they are acting from their conditioning, from their wounds, from their fears, from their insecurities. You expect understanding from someone who doesn't understand themselves. You expect consistency from someone who is emotionally unstable. You expect emotional depth from someone who never looked inside their own mind. You expect maturity from someone who hasn't grown up psychologically. You expect love from someone who is still learning how to love. You expect clarity from someone who lives in confusion. And when you don't see this, you take everything personally. But Stoicism teaches that taking things personally is the root of unnecessary suffering, because nothing people do is truly about you. It's about their inner world. Nihilism teaches that your mind adds meaning where none exists. Freud teaches that old emotional wounds shape your reactions. Jung teaches that the outer conflict points to inner truth. Adler teaches that behavior comes from deep unmet needs. Krishnamurti teaches that attachment brings fear, and fear brings hurt. Osho teaches that unconscious love creates pain. Acharya Prashant teaches that dependence destroys peace. All these viewpoints converge on one truth. Your suffering repeats because your inner patterns repeat. Nothing changes outside because nothing changes inside. And before we close, remember this. Hurting again and again is not a sign that the world is cruel. It is a sign that your inner patterns are still unconscious. The moment you bring awareness, the cycle breaks. The pain softens. The heart becomes wiser. And you stop bleeding from someone else's behavior. If this message brought clarity or made you reflect deeply, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Mind, and stay with us as we continue exploring the truth of the human mind with depth, honesty, and real psychological insight.